Greetings, everything's. Greetings. Does that sound like an alien? Does that sound like an alien? Do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? No? No? Okay. What's going on, everybody? NFL Week 14, not 15, because I thought it was 15, but it's actually 14. I'm rushing too much already. I should know that. It's the playoffs in my fantasy football league, but I'm not in it, so I don't care. So, Week 14, NFL picks. I'm here with Casey, and I know you're thinking, where's the rest of this young panel that you usually have? Where are they at? Where they be? What's going on? Where are they? It's just y'all. We see y'all all the time. Well, they're out of town. I know. Cry cry. But you still have us. We are Mr. Consistency here. So there you go. So Casey, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself, sir.
I think we're more so Mr. No Life than more than Mr. In or consistency. We just have nothing to do. We have no friends. We we don't have girlfriends. We just stay in our basements all. Anyway, enough about us. You already know who I am, so I don't know why I keep having to introduce myself. I mean, it's right down there. I mean, and if you can't read, Hooked on Phonics works for me. So you need to go read or watch those DVDs. They might have them on Blu-ray now. I don't know. I don't even do they sell Hooked on Phonics anymore? I don't know. Google that. While you're listening to this, Google that and then let me know. Leave us a comment and let us know. But let's just get into. I assume we're going to be going over last week's games because there was a couple that were ooh.
Yeah, we could do that. We can go over last week's games. Which ones do you want to go over in particular? And by the way, I have plenty of a life. Okay, I go to work, I do homework, and then that's about it. So I have plenty of a life. Darn it. What games in particular would you like to go over?
I don't know. I think we should just go over all of them because that's what we usually do.
All right.
I mean
So
we
we're going
can
over.
we can skip the Rams game. We can skip over that. That we can go over that one and just not talk about that because somebody was drinking the haterade.
All right. So you do that, especially since it's only two people. Gotta make up some time somewhere.
We do.
So so we started off with games, but I think we went over those way, way, way before we
Yeah.
started picking. We had the Colts killing the Redskins, but I don't even know if it was really a killing though, because it kind of got out of hand at the end, more so than it was the entire game. It was kind of like a 7 to 10 points throughout the entire game. So I don't know. This was RG3 not starting, so it was Colt McCoy starting, and it was kind of built as number one pick versus number two pick, and then RG3 got benched, and then it was not. It was Colt McCoy versus number one pick. So what'd you think? What'd you think of the game from
No,
back in
no.
the day?
It let's just not make excuses. It was a killing. Okay, killing because the Redskins went up against my boys, the Colts, and I told y'all last week. I told you last week that we were gonna just just mop the floor with them, and that is what we did.
Was that the main reason that you wanted to go over these, just so you could say you were right?
No, there was actually a couple other I don't know. We went over the games last week too, so and plus it is only the two of us, so we gotta make up that time.
That's true. All right. So next we had the Texans versus the Titans. Do you know what the records were for last week? Because I don't know if you were taking the spreadsheet or was Andrew taking the spreadsheet,
And
or you both taking
last
the
week
spreadsheet.
Andrew took the spreadsheet.
Okay, so we don't know the records. All I know is I probably won. No, I probably didn't.
No, I think
But
I'm pretty sure.
but we did. The second game we had last week was the Titans and the Texans. The Texans won handily. Handily, I don't think that's a real thing, but they won pretty easily there. Um, and I think I picked the Titans here because I said I do remember myself saying that the Titans were going to be that they were on the rise, and they didn't look on the rise in this game. So, what'd you think of this game in particular?
I think I picked the Texans because I've been picking against the Titans for the past couple weeks because I don't trust them. Uh, I didn't think it would be this out of hand, but hey, if if the Titans want to let the Texans score 45 points, that's up to them. That's whatever you want to do.
Side note: Ryan Fitzpatrick threw 6 touchdowns in this game. Is he elite now? He's an elite quarterback now. He's in that top five, that top three, that top three, that top three range now through those 6 touchdowns. All right. After that, we had the Bills and the Browns. The Bills won 26-10. This was a surprise to me, just because I think the Browns are better than they. You would think Josh Gordon comes back, Browns get better. Yeah, right? No, I think they've lost the last 2 games when Josh Gordon has been in there. So they may want to send him some sit him down a little bit or something, because they're doing worse with him than they were without him, which shouldn't really be the case. Um, I was surprised because I think the Browns are better than they look, but I'm always happy when the Browns lose, especially with the AFC North this close. So what do you think of the Bills Rams 2016 Bills?
You always seem to say, they're not as good as they look, or they're not as bad as they look on paper. They're good, and then they lose. They always, every time. And
Hey,
I have
they
to,
beat the, they beat the Bengals. They beat the Bengals, who were the first place team.
whatever. Anyway, and I have to really reiterate what I said last week. I was right. You know, the Bills won. I was right. I am 3-0 right now, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0. Oh,
0-3.
man. I actually think I'm about to be 4-0 in the next game.
Can we skip this one forever?
No, we can't.
So next we have the Chargers going up against the Ravens, and the Chargers won 34-33. Um, this game was just terrible. Like, what makes it always makes me upset when any team. It doesn't really matter what team it is. It doesn't matter if my team or any team. If I watch a team play well against a team who turns the ball over, the team who played well should probably win. And the Ravens had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and they still lost. So, and it was just upsetting. I was like, why? And then that pass interference call. I should have picked the refs for this one, because that pass interference call at the end, where they were both, they were hand fighting. I don't understand. Like, you can't call that. You got to at least let them play. I just don't think you can call that. I mean, and I wouldn't say that. I would say that with probably any team, unless they were probably playing the Ravens. I would probably say that against any team. But a lot of times I'm pretty unbiased about calls like that, like the flop earlier in the year by Ilaka or Iloka, whatever we're calling him, and the freaking that pass interference call. Just why?
I love how anytime I pick the refs, you're like, no, you can't do that. You can't pick the refs. But then when your Ravens are losing, you're like, I should have picked the refs. But yeah, I picked the Chargers, so I knew they were gonna, even though it's just 1 point, I knew they were gonna pull it out and put down those horrible Ravens that can't even. When's the last time they were in the Super Bowl?
2 years
Anyway,
ago.
what?
2 years ago. When's the last time the Colts were in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but the Colts won. Oh wait, no, the last time they lost, but the one time
Oh,
before.
what? Wait a minute. Okay. I just. Next, we had the Jaguars against the Giants. This game looked like a blowout. It did. It looked like the Giants were going to run away with this one. And then the Jaguars coming back on the Giants to win by 1 point, 25-24. I can't remember who I picked in this one. I think I said something about I like the Jaguars, but I can't pick them because of what they did to me the week before. So I think I picked the Giants here too. So I
I
think I'm
think
0-5.
I think we all picked the Giants. Lamar might have picked the Jaguars. I don't know, but we have 3 games in a row here that are won by 1 point. I just noticed that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
but yeah, like I thought this was gonna be a blowout with the Giants. I was like, I came into this thinking there's no way the Jaguars were gonna win. Uh, Maybe they'd get a touchdown and maybe a field goal, but wow, that, good job, Jaguars. You're not gonna ever make it to the Super Bowl, but good job. I'm proud.
All right, next we have the Bengals going into Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. Um, and the Bengals ended up winning 14-13. This game really made me mad because I was watching it and it just seems weird because all the weird calls kind of went with the AFC North games this week, and it sounds like I'm being really biased, but I'm really not. So like this one, so the Bucks had this in hand. Josh McCown had thrown a long pass to get him into easy field goal range. And it was funny because Lamar's always making fun of Josh McCown, and I tweeted him before the game. I was like, wouldn't it be fitting if the Bengals lost to Josh McCown? But they didn't. But it's okay. Like, but I mean, what I was saying was like they had the game in hand. They had an easy field goal, and then Marvin Lewis throws the challenge flag, and they end up getting a challenge out of an unchallengeable situation. So they were out of timeouts, or they were out of challenges, so they couldn't challenge anymore. And then, so if you throw the challenge flag, and I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a new rule they came up with this year because last year Jim Schwartz tried it and he got penalized for it, and they didn't get the challenge. But this year, if you throw the challenge flag and you're out of challenges, you just lose a timeout, and you actually get the challenge, which I don't think is really as fair as it seems because if you don't have any timeouts to even challenge it anyway, or if you're out of challenges, like it was under 2 minutes. That's what it was. It was under 2 minutes, so he couldn't challenge. So obviously he couldn't challenge it. So he threw the challenge flag anyway. So if you challenge in an unchallengeable situation, you still get your challenge, but you lose a timeout. I don't like that rule because it just doesn't, like, why should you be able to challenge in a situation where you could challenge? It's like, why should you be able to kick a field goal in a situation where you usually wouldn't kick a field goal? What do you think about that? Like, I think we learned a lot of new things just from this game alone. And the Bengals, once again, like I said, tried their best to lose this game. It's coming. The collapse is coming.
I I just think in the past couple seasons they have just come up with the stupidest rules and the stupidest penalties now, and like you can't even play the game anymore. It's like you can't touch the receiver, you can't touch the quarterback, you can't touch your mom. Not that you would do that, but it's sorry. But no, like some of these rules don't make sense. How can you how can you use a challenge if you don't have one, and then how if what? No.
Yeah, I didn't really make a lot of sense of that because I wasn't thinking of the situation. But you know how it's under 2 minutes, you can't challenge. So
Yeah.
if you throw the challenge flag under 2 minutes, you just lose the timeout and you can't challenge. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for any team, not just the Bengals. Not just because I am against the Bengals right now. It just doesn't make any sense, regardless.
If you challenge in under 2 minutes, it should just be ignored. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, but still a very close game. So I mean, the Bucks, man, they're coming. They're coming. The Bucks are coming. And
Indeed,
we can
they looking for that corner.
yeah, they're coming to the corner. We can skip the next game.
Um, he wants me to skip this next game because I think almost everyone, I think at least half the panel last week, Lamar and Casey, I definitely know they did. They decided to drink the Raider Raid, as they're calling it, and picked the Raiders to win this game. Well, I'm sorry, but the Raiders did not win this game or score. They didn't even score. 52 to nothing for the Rams over the Raiders. Do you want to say anything about this one, or
I no. How do you lose 52 to nothing? How? How do you not even get a field goal? Come on.
a safety? Where's the safeties, man? All right. So after that one, we had the Saints going up against the Steelers. I did pick this one right. If I didn't pick anything right, so I got this one right. The Saints did win this game. It actually looked like the Steelers were going to win this game at first, and then the Saints came back and got the win, 35-32. So it was good. It was good that the rest of the AFC North lost and the Ravens lost because if they well besides the Bengals who should have lost, but that's beside the point. Um, it was nice that the rest of the division lost while the Ravens lost. But in this game, I picked this game and the Saints didn't look as bad as they usually look on the road. So that was good for the Saints and good for Andrew who's not here. But what'd you think of the Saints Steelers?
I think I picked the Steelers to win this game because the Saints were on the road and I didn't trust them on the road, but they managed to pull it out. So I mean, you got to give them credit. I still don't think they're that good. But at the same token, I don't think the Steelers are that good. I never have. Even when they went to the Super Bowl, last time I didn't think they were that good. I felt like that was just a fluke season. The last time they were in the Super Bowl, not like, the Steel Curtain era, when they had like 45 Super Bowls or whatever they have. I don't know. But I mean, I can't really say too much about this game because I didn't think either of them were that good. So one of them had to win, obviously, and because the refs aren't allowed to win because we've made that a rule apparently. So anyway, next.
It's not necessarily a rule, but if you pick the refs, we can't give you the win or the loss for it. It's just like It's just like if you were to pick a tie. Like you can't. If it doesn't tie, we don't know where to go.
No, if you pick the refs, you win either way because they don't lose ever.
Then if that was the case, if we made that a real thing, then everyone would just pick the refs. No one would ever pick any team. Like,
and then we'd all be undefeated.
all right. So next we had the Panthers and the Vikings. I know I lost this one definitely. Yeah, I lost a ton of these games. Now that I look back at it, the Panthers and the Vikings. I thought the Panthers were gonna win, but just because I thought they were better than the Vikings, I think, but they didn't. They lost 31-13. So I got they told me. So what'd you think of the Panthers and the Vikings?
This was a game where I may have actually picked the referees in this one because I know we all weren't sure on this game because it was such a hard game to pick. But I was surprised it was 31-13. Either way, with whoever won. Obviously the Vikings won, but I was surprised it was that off for the Panthers. But those kind of teams, they a lot of times get forgotten. I guess they gotta win get a big score every once in a while. So good job, Vikings.
All right, next we had the Cardinals going up against the Falcons, and from what I could tell, I did not get a chance to actually watch much of this game. I kind of saw some highlights. Drew Stanton looked like Your average terrible quarterback, pretty much. I don't know. There was one pick they kept showing that he threw where he like missed the receiver completely and threw it right to the defender, like the DB or whatever. so so I don't really know what happened to the Cardinals. Maybe it's because Drew Stanton is the quarterback. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting because if they were to lose out and Drew Stanton is really bad, then what is everyone going to say who tried to say that Bruce Arians is his quarterback guru type of guy and says that he could take Drew Stanton to the Super Bowl? Like, what are those guys going to say after that? Because I'm really interested in hearing that. So what do you think about that? Were you surprised? Because I definitely was surprised.
I was surprised just the fact that the Falcons won. Not even the fact that the Cardinals are like the best team in the league right now and they lost, but just the fact that the Falcons won. Like, and not that the Falcons are a bad team necessarily, but they just haven't been, like we've said in the past couple weeks, they just haven't been the good Falcons that we've seen in the past. Not saying that they're one of the best teams or that they've ever been one of the best teams, but they've had better seasons than they have now, and for them to win, again, good job, Falcons.
Yeah, and it's funny because it keeps them in the divisional race because they have the tiebreaker. I think they're actually in first place now because I think they're tied with New Orleans, but they have the tiebreaker over New Orleans because they beat them the first time. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because the Falcons make the playoffs at like 8-8 or 6-10 or whatever. Like it's going to be interesting to see that. So next we have the Patriots and the Patriots and the Packers. This was a game I don't think I got to see. I was at work at this point, so I missed a lot of this game. But it wasn't. From what I saw, it wasn't a bad game. Um, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this was the one of them I actually got right. The Packers did win this 26-21. I wasn't really flabbergasted by it. One team had to win, one team had to lose. They're both pretty good teams. I still don't trust the Patriots, just don't. But it was nice that the Packers won, at least to give me at least one win.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think?
Like I said, I always pick against the Patriots because I hate the Patriots. Sorry for any Patriots fans watching, but I didn't get to watch this game in its entirety, but I watched a little bit of it on my break at work, and from what I saw, it was an okay game. I did see a part where Tom Brady was kind of upset, not happy on the sideline. But then again, if the Patriots lose by 1 point, he gets that way. So you can't really tell. And I know people are going to be like, "Oh, that's because he's passionate about the game." And no, he is a pretty boy crybaby. Anyway, no, but these were two. I'm not going to say. A lot of people will say that the Patriots and the Packers are like two of the best teams ever in the league. I'm not going to say that. If you really think about it, people say that the Patriots are this huge dynasty team, but they weren't good until a few seasons after Brady came in. Back in the 90s, they were horrible. If people actually go back and look. But anyway, like I said, I picked the Packers just because I don't pick the Patriots either way, even if I thought they were better than the Packers, which I don't. I thought they were pretty evenly matched. And plus, the Patriots were away. If the Patriots were home, it might have been a different story because it is tough to play at Gillette Stadium. It's also tough to play at Lambeau, so it's kind of either way, the home team would have had the advantage. But anyway, next.
All right, and just so you guys know, Tom Brady is the football equivalent to John Cena for Casey. So if
Yeah,
you
pretty
hear a,
much.
if you hear a Tom Brady rant in a random wrestling video, then you understand where he's coming from. So the next game that we had, if I can find the schedule, is was the Broncos going up against the Chiefs. The Broncos won 29-16. Um, I think this game was another one that got away at the end. I wasn't surprised here that the Broncos won. I actually thought it might have been a one possession game near the end, though. It may have been. I can't remember off the top of my head though. But I know it was close until the end. So um, I, I'm not surprised on this one. What'd you think?
Um, I'm not surprised either. I mean, I kind of wanted the Chiefs to win. Um, Ever since last season, I've been really excited about the Chiefs. I mean, I always have been. I always want, the underdog teams to kind of have a good season and make it to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they didn't last year, and they're not going to this year. But their corner's coming. They're going to get that good season where, and I think a lot of things have changed with them just with the coaching change. But unfortunately, they couldn't overcome the Broncos and Manning and his army. So, uh, but it could have been worse. I guess it could have been 50 some to 0, but it wasn't.
So you wanted them to win the Super Bowl when Matt Castle was the quarterback, right?
No, I think Smith was still. Yeah, no, no, no.
All right, so the last game we had from last week was the not the Broncos. We just talked about the Broncos. No, the last game we had was the Dolphins in New York to go against the Jets. Andrew, as he said, never picks against the Jets. Well, he should have this time. It was 16-13. It was actually really close, though. It was closer than I thought it was gonna be because the Dolphins really didn't play as well as I expected them to play, especially against that secondary that they were playing against. Um, but I don't know. I wasn't surprised that they won. I was a little surprised that it was as close as it was, though. What do you think?
Fins won, like I said. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so now we're going to week 14, baby, because that's the week we're in. We're in week 14. We just went back. We reviewed last week, what we thought, what went down last week. So there you go. Now we're going into week 14, and the Thursday night game was the Chicago Bears going up against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys won 41-28. I don't know why. This was one of those games where I was like, if I was picked, because I always try to think if I was going to pick this game, who would have picked, and I would have picked the Bears because I don't really like the Cowboys, even though I picked them to win the division, and I don't really like, and I like the Bears, so and I picked them to win the division, which they're not going to do. But anyway, the Cowboys won 41-28. It looked like the Bears had a chance to actually come back here at the end, but they didn't, which is unfortunate. So the Cowboys win. They're trying to stay atop that NFC East, I think it is. So, what do you think of the Thursday night game? If you got to watch it, I didn't really get to watch much of it. I just caught a little bit of the end.
Um, I didn't really get to watch it, but I mean, I'm happy it turned out the way it did. I think who did I pick for this game?
We
I don't
didn't,
know.
but we didn't pick. We didn't actually pick because it was the Thursday night game.
Oh yeah, because we don't pick the Thursday
Yeah.
night games because we suck. But Thursday doesn't count. Thursday's for wrestling. But I mean, it it turned out the way I thought it would. Uh, I didn't think the score was going to be that different, but I thought it'd be a little bit closer. But you know. it happens how it happens, I guess. I don't know. I don't really pick Thursday night games because Thursday I watch wrestling.
Indeed, that NXT. Speaking of NXT, there's an NXT review up on the channel, so feel free to go check that out. There you go. Cheap plug, cheap
Yeah.
pop. Whoop whoop. But and that's only if you want to. If you don't want to, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's unfortunate. So the first game, I guess technically the second game, the first game in the 1 o'clock games, we got the Steelers going into Cincinnati to go against the Bengals. Um, as far as this game goes, it would be better for the Bengals to lose, and I feel like the Bengals are going to lose. I think the last 2 times they played, it was a 10-point game, and it was split between both of them. So the Bengals are playing at home, and they are good at home, but I just haven't really seen them play very well recently. But I haven't really seen the Steelers play very well recently. Big Ben threw 6 touchdowns in 2 weeks, and then that was pretty much it for him. He just gave up for the rest of the season, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna pick the Steelers here because I really want them to win. Um, but you never really know, especially with the AFC North. So what do you think of the Steelers going into Cincinnati to play against the Bengals?
Um, I always like this game. This is a good rivalry game, and it usually gets uh, pretty intense. I don't think it doesn't usually get as intense as like when the Steelers play the Ravens. People sometimes get shanked in that game, but it's usually a good game. I'm gonna pick the Bengals because I don't think they're ready to lose yet. You know, they're gonna try again, but I don't think they're gonna lose.
They're gonna try again. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know how much you can trust the Bengals after what they did last week. It was funny though. Like I think last week you can't. I just don't. And this is looking towards the future more than just last week. You can't continue to turn the ball over like they're doing and win games. Andy Dalton threw 3 picks in that game, and I think McCown threw one. Like you can't turn the ball over 3 times and expect to keep winning games. It's not gonna happen. I don't care what team you are. Um, Next we got the Rams of St. Louis going up against the Horrors of Washington, the Redskins. So, what do you think about the Rams going up against the Redskins? They're going into Washington, by the way.
Um, I'm gonna pick the Rams. I don't even know why. I'm just leaning towards the Rams. No,
That
there's no
Raminade, that Raminade.
I'm gonna drink the Raminade. I'm gonna take the Ramrod this week. Huh. I don't even know. There's no scientific thought to this one. I'm picking the Rams. I don't think the Redskins are as I don't think either of these teams are really that good, but something is pulling me towards the Rams more so than the Redskins. So I mean the R's. I don't know if they have that settled yet.
All right. For this one, I would go. I'm gonna actually go with the Redskins. I don't know if you're keeping a spreadsheet or not.
I am.
But okay. Because if you weren't, I was just gonna go back and watch it and do it anyway. But I would have to go with the Redskins here. They're playing at home. I'm hoping maybe they can do something that can make us feel like they're a decent team. Um, Living in Virginia, I see a lot of, especially Southern Virginia. I don't know if it's like this in Northern Virginia per se, but I see a lot of Redskins fans. So hopefully those fans will be happy after at 4:30 ish tomorrow. I like the Rams. Don't get me wrong. I think the Rams are a really good team. But Colt McCoy is starting up for the Redskins, and I like Colt McCoy. I really do. I like Colt McCoy as a quarterback. So I'm gonna go with the Redskins. Next, we got the Giants going up against the Tennessee Titans. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the safe pick. No, I'm not. I don't. What is the safe pick? Like what? What is the safe pick here? Because the Giants just lost to the Jaguars, and the Titans aren't that good.
I still think the Giants are the safe pick.
I don't know. No, the Giants. um, I'm gonna go with the Titans. I think I don't know. It's something about the Titans that draws me to them. Maybe it was because they used to be in the old AFC North. That's what it is. Something draws me to the Titans. Plus, I like Zach Mettenberger, and I think they have a decent young core of wide receivers that can do some things. I'm gonna go with the Titans here. Well, what are you going with here? They're playing in Tennessee. I don't know if you hear that.
I'm going to go with the other safe pick, which is the Giants. And I'm just going to hope they don't do the same thing they did last week. They probably are just with my luck, but, I can try. You got to give one of the men some love that doesn't get the love, He's stuck in the shadow of being Peyton's little brother, You gotta give him something. And plus, he's stuck with his team, Peyton.
He doesn't have that all-star team that Peyton has.
Yeah, true. I was gonna say, and Peyton abandoned the Colts, but the Colts didn't want to re-sign him after his injury because.
Yeah, don't blame that on Peyton. Don't blame that on Peyton. Come on, you can't blame that on Peyton. All right, so after that we got the Panthers. Well, technically they'll be going on at the same time, so not after that, but you know what I mean. We got the Panthers going into New Orleans to face the Saints. I think I'll let you go first on this one. What do you think, Panthers or Saints?
I'm gonna go with the Saints, just because they're at home, and I just don't think the Panthers have been doing as good as they maybe could be doing. So I just think I only think the Saints are gonna win just because it's home field. Some people say that there actually is a home field advantage. Some people say it's just a myth, but I'm just going to pick them just because they're at home. It's usually easier to play at home because you're used to it. So I'm just going to go with the Saints. But I'm going to put them on upset alert. There's a chance the Panthers could win, but we'll just have to see on Sunday.
As much as I want to trust the Panthers, I can't trust the Panthers because they just haven't been good. They've been okay this year. I think early on in the season they were doing pretty decent. Once Cam got, wasn't as hurt. I think Cam's still a little bit hurt. I think he's fighting through some kind of ankle injury or something like that. So I think he's still hurt a little bit. So I think once he gets healthy, they'll be fine, but I don't know if that's going to necessarily be this season because there's only like 4 games left. 3 games left. So I'm going to have to go with the Saints here at home. Next, we got the Jets going into Minnesota to face the Vikings. I'm going to pull an Andrew this week and say I can't pick up against the Jets. So I'm going to pick the Jets. I'm going to go with the Jets to beat the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are that good. For some reason, I like the Jets. I've liked them since Mark Sanchez was there. I probably liked them before that, but I think I like them because of Rex Ryan. So I'm gonna have to go with the Jets here. I think the Jets are better. No, they're not. No. I think they're gonna win this game. I'm just gonna leave it there. I think they're gonna win this game. So what do you think?
I think that the Vikings are gonna take their momentum and they're gonna win this one. I think so. They're probably not. It's probably going to be a draw. But I feel like when you win a game like they did last week, not that it was a hard game, but just the score-wise, you kind of get like an extra pep in your step, and I think maybe they could use that and continue with the next week. I hope, because I'm picking them.
What
But
about the Raiders, Pep?
listen, you guys just drank too much of the haterade. I'm not talking about the Raiders anymore until we get to that game. Go away.
Well, all right. Next, we got the Ravens going into Miami to play against the Dolphins. I'll let you go first on this one.
The Finns are gonna win again because they just are. Because the Ravens, it's in Miami, and the Ravens are they're not going to be able to deal with the heat, because it's so hot. They're going to be sweating everywhere. Flacco's not going to be able to grip the ball. The receivers aren't going to be able to catch. It's just going to be bad for them. They're not used to it. So, and that was all complete bull. But I'm picking the Dolphins because I like they have pretty uniforms. Again, like I said in a previous video, go look at the helmet. If that doesn't make you smile, you have no soul.
All right. I'm gonna go with the Ravens here. I honestly, and as unbiased as I can be, I think the Ravens look better than they ever have. And let me tell you why. I think the offense looks better than it ever has looked. Besides that playoff run, they looked really good in that playoff run. But other than that, like the offense, like it looks fluent. It looks like they actually know what they're doing. It looks like the quarterback and the receivers are on the same page, and they're running the ball with some effectiveness and very good effectiveness, honestly. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens here. I just think the Ravens are a better team. Even if I take my allegiance out of it, I think the Ravens are the better team. Just because we saw the Dolphins struggle against the Jets, the Ravens are a better team than the Jets. We do know that. So I think you gotta put two and two together there, and not get five like Casey's getting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so next we got the Colts of Indianapolis, near and dear to a certain person's heart, going up against the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns win, baby. No, I'm gonna have to go with the Colts, just because I need the Browns to lose, really bad. But I wouldn't mind, because Casey's head is getting about as big as Lamar's head is. But but the thing about it is, Casey kind of has a reason to have a big head, to where Lamar, at least the Colts have been playing consistently good, but with the Bengals they haven't. So shout out to Lamar, even though he's not here. I would say that to his face. Don't let's not act like I wouldn't say that to his face. But as far as the Colts goes, I hope they win this game. But I'm gonna put them on upset alert. Look at that first upset alert for me of the day. Because I think, like I said, I've been saying it for weeks, and I've been pretty right about the AFC North, besides a couple of times. I think the Browns are better than the credit they're given. And I think Brian Hoyer is now fighting for his job, which he shouldn't be, but he is. So I'm going to have to go with the Colts here, but they're on upset alert. What do you think? I don't think we need to ask, but what do you think anyway? Might as well give your input.
Honestly, not even. I'm gonna try to be unbiased. I honestly think that the Colts are better than the Browns. That being said, I agree with DJ. I think the Browns are better than maybe some people say they are.
Did you disagree with me on that point earlier?
What?
I'm pretty sure you disagreed with me on that point earlier.
I disagreed.
Or did you?
Well, no, I disagreed with the fact that you kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna win because they're better than they are," and then they kept losing. But I think if they kind of figure more things out team-wise, they'd be better than maybe they've been playing. Because, like you said, Hoyer is kind of fighting for his job now, which in some cases can make you play better, but in other places can sometimes can make you, choke under the pressure. Uh, and if they, I think isn't Johnny Manziel second string or something like that?
Yeah, so he's definitely gonna have the fan advantage. The
Yeah,
fan.
and I think if he starts, I don't think he's as good as you know the hype is. Um, you can be, and this is proven by guys like Tim Tebow. You can be great in college and come to the NFL. It's a completely different league. So just because you're great in college doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be that good in the pros. So I just haven't seen enough from him to prove to me that he's going to be a really good quarterback that they can rely on. Um, and I think they've been doing well with what they have now. Um, Not going to say they've been doing really good, but they've been doing well. But they're not going to win this one. That's the point of this. They're not going to win this one because the Colts are just they're they're kind of like if you took Andre the Giant and you mixed Hulk Hogan, put a little bit of Sting in there, a little bit of Triple H, and then kick John Cena in the nuts. That is what the Colts are. I'm done.
Your head just exploded. um, I think the difference between the Browns now and what they were earlier in the season when they were winning a lot of games is the Browns were a lot sharper then, if you think about it. Like I don't know if you got a chance to watch that Thursday night game with the Bengals, and really that's the one I talk about, and not just because of the time, and we actually got to see him on TV. If you're not in Cleveland, um, they were really sharp. Like Brian Hoyer was making quick throws, quick decisions. He was seeing the field well. Um, so they're not as sharp as they've been in the past. Talking about the Browns. So next up,
Yeah.
I hope Casey can get his head back for this pick. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Detroit to play against the Lions. So what do you think about? Yeah, you go first this time. Yeah. So Tampa Bay,
Okay.
Lions. Who wins?
Well, see, what's going to happen is the Colts practice squad is going to come in and just beat both of them because the Colts are so good. Oh, even their practice squad. Oh, sorry. Trying to get my head down. My bad. I'm going to pick. I want to pick the Buccaneers, but I'm going to pick the Lions because I think the Lions are a better team. Even though I want the Buccaneers to be, they're not. So I'm going with the Lions. I'm not even going to put them on upset alert because I don't think it's no.
All right. It's funny. Think about how bad the Buccaneers have been, and think about that they actually have a chance to win this division. I'm not joking. That's how bad this division is. I'm pretty sure, unless they're up to 11 losses by now. Let me check real quick. No, they're still at 10, and I think they still got a chance to tie the top seed in the division and maybe actually win it. So that's just funny to me. Like they've been probably the worst team in that division, even though that division hasn't been great. But still, like if they would have won last week, they would have had a great chance at trying to come back in that division. Even better chance than they have now. For this one, I'm gonna have to go with the Lions, but I'm gonna put them on upset alert. Just because the Lions haven't looked great to me, especially the first part of the season. They looked really good. I thought they looked good. I don't know if they looked terribly sharp because I didn't get to see a lot of them, but I did get to see a little bit of them, and they looked good. The defense looked good, the offense looked good, everything was looking good. And then, they kind of tapered off a little bit. So I'm gonna put them on upset alert because I think the Bucks are a young team trying to figure out where they are. That young team, not necessarily young coach, but first year coach for them. trying to figure out where they are. So I'm gonna go with the Lions, but I'm putting them on upset alert. So next we got the Texans going up against the Jaguars. And no, they both can't lose, so the Colts look better. Um, so the Texans going into Jacksonville to
They
play
can.
against the Jaguars. Play against the Jaguars. Um, for this one, I'm gonna have to go with the Texans because I want to trust the Jaguars. I really do. I really do. I just want to. I just want to trust the Jaguars. I do, but I can't. Like I love their teal jerseys. Like I'm in love with the teal jerseys, but I can't trust them. I can't trust them yet. I gotta wait a little bit. So I'm gonna go with the Texans. Ryan Fitzpatrick gonna drop 8 touchdowns on it. No, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be okay though. I think he's gonna be fine in this game. I'm going with the Texans. What do you think?
I don't want either of them to win. I want the Colts to look awesome. Uh, Even though they're still going to, with whoever wins, you know. Um, I, the Jaguars did win last week, so it's not crazy to think that they could win. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the Jags. They're gonna be an upset alert, but I'm going with the Jags.
I don't know if that's an upset alert, but okay.
Oh no, it
Um,
is. It is.
and just so you know, that AFC South is a little bit closer than it seems. Just so everyone knows, not just Casey. Um, the the Texans are only 2 games behind the Colts.
No.
At 6-6. So so if the Colts were to lose 2 games and then the Texans come in and win another one, they win out. The Texans lose 2. It could get a little interesting in the
La,
AFC
la, la,
South.
la, 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 la.
They could get a little interesting there.
La, la,
That
la,
is
la.
interesting though. It's crazy how close like pretty much every division is. Um, I'll go through that. Remind me to go through that because I do want the people to know, especially going into the fourth quarter of the season. I want the people to know how close it is because it's really amazing how close. And if you get a chance, just go ahead and look it up now if you want to. Um, look it up and it's amazing how close it is, especially in the AFC. I think the NFC is the same way. So next we got the Bills going into Denver to face the Broncos. Can the Bills get that 2 in a row? 2 in a row. So Casey, what you think about the Bills getting 2, maybe getting 2 in a row, perhaps?
Nope.
Maybe.
They're going into Denver. They can't do it. The only reason they won last week is because they were at home. And they weren't playing the Broncos. So,
Hey, the Rams beat the Broncos earlier in the year. Just want to say that if you go back and watch that video, I got laughed out of the video. So and I picked them and I won. So
yeah,
there
but
you
that
go.
was an upset.
All
That was
right,
a
so
huge
for this one,
victory.
I'd have to go with the Broncos because the Bills, I haven't trusted them the whole year. So I don't think I can trust them now, and especially in Denver against the Broncos at higher altitude with the ears all stopped up and stuff. Can't do it. Can't do it. So next, we got the Chiefs going up against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are trying to get out of the quicksand. Um, like Cardinals have it's kind of quicksand. It looked good. They were walking on flat ground, and then they stepped in quicksand, but now they can't get out. So I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals though here. The Chiefs look better than I think they did at the beginning of the season, but I don't think the Cardinals are as bad with Drew Stanton as they looked last week. And they're back at home again, and they play pretty well at home. So what do you think? Are you going with the Cardinals or are you going with the Chiefs?
Well, the safe pick would be the Cardinals. But they are stuck in that quicksand. And I'm gonna say that that quicksand is just gonna hold them down just a little bit too much, and it's gonna be an upset, and Kansas City's gonna win.
All right. Um, Also, anyone watching, feel free to comment your picks as well. Um, I never say that, but I always mean it. I just don't ever say it. So feel free to comment your picks. If you got picks and you want to battle with us, you
Unless you're really good at picks, then
can
don't, because we don't want to look bad.
with good. Just okay. Watch the video, give us some tips, and then we'll be just as good as you. All right. So haven't heard that in a while, so I had to get that in there. Hadn't heard that in a while.
I believe in the
All right. So
Shield.
no, believe in Roman Reigns.
No, I believe in the Shield, minus Roman Reigns.
Believe in John Cena. Anyway, next we got the Seahawks going up against the Eagles. I think the Eagles are still in first place. They should be. They beat the. Let me check. I got the standings right here. Why am I not checking that? Yeah, the Eagles are in first place by a game, and they beat the Cowboys the first time around on Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna let you go first because I don't remember who went first before. So I'm gonna let you go first. Seahawks or the Eagles? The Seahawks are on the road.
I, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Um, I just I don't trust the Eagles that much. Um, I'm trying to see what is their record even. I don't even remember.
9-3. Well, the Eagles are 9-3.
Yeah,
And the
Seahawks are eight and
Seahawks
four.
are. You got that? 8-4.
Yeah, 8-4. This is kind of a tough game because I feel like it could go either way. Uh, obviously, if it was at Seattle, I would definitely pick the Seahawks. But I'm still gonna pick the Seahawks. Um, I personally feel like this game is just too close, and I'm not particularly an Eagles fan anyway, so I have to go against them. But I, it's
You
either
live in Pennsylvania and you're not an Eagles fan?
no, I'm not. So it's either the Seahawks or the refs. So
All right. For this one, I'm gonna go with the Eagles, and there's one reason: the Sanchez, baby. No, not really. This is gonna be the real test though for Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez has looked really good except for one game with the Eagles during his couple of starts that he's had. Um, I think this is gonna be the real test. Because Green Bay has killed everyone, so that's why he lost to Green Bay. Or at least beaten everyone, practically, pretty much. Um, I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles in this one because I don't trust the Seahawks on the road. I don't trust the Seahawks really at all. But I think this is gonna be a big test for Mark Sanchez to see how he can play against the Legion of Boom, that defense. That's still pretty good. I think they're better than they look at times, so they're still pretty good. So it's gonna be a big test. Next, we got the 49ers going up against the Raiders. Can the Raider Raid withstand the Niner pod? I don't know. I don't know. Can they withstand the Niners? I don't think so.
the
I
Niner.
don't. I don't. The the Niner thing. The thing that the Niners carry. Okay. The four. Can they withstand the 4 in 49ers? I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one because I don't trust the Raiders. I haven't trusted the Raiders. I wanted them to win when they played the Chiefs, but I still can't trust the Raiders. Um, no, it's not haterade. It's distrust. Distrust. Okay? All right, so I'm going with the 49ers. The 49ers are a better team, and they're fighting for their lives, like, in that division. So, what do you think?
I have it on good authority, and this is completely true. This isn't made up. The Raiders actually went out and signed a one-game deal with both Jerry Rice and Steve Young. So they're going to come in and they're going to beat their old team and help out the Raiders. And that was completely true. That wasn't made up. I have it on good authority. Don't ask me my sources. I won't tell you. They're mine. So, going with the Raiders.
Interesting. I don't know how long it's been since Steve Young has thrown a football or since Jerry Rice has caught a football. So it's gonna be interesting to see see what they do from the
Like
inside
riding
sources
a
of
bike.
Casey.
Never forget.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. You just never, you never forget that stuff. Next we got another night game with the Patriots. This is kind of. Oh, what time did the Patriots play last week? Was it 4:25? It might have been 4:25.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking they played in the night game, but they didn't. That's why I thought it was weird because I thought they played in the Sunday night game, then they get another Sunday night game. Um, but we got the Patriots going up against the Chargers. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. Actually, I'm gonna let you go first. So I didn't go with anybody. Skip that. Forget it. Forget what I just said. You go first. You go
Well,
first.
DJ went with the Patriots.
No, he didn't.
uh, I'm going to pick an upset, and I'm going to say the Chargers. Because I don't pick the Patriots. So it's going to be an upset. Because, Steve Young and Jerry Rice are going to do double duty. And they're going to play for the Chargers, too. Because they're just that good.
Oh, all right. Steve Young and Jerry Rice are gonna go into a game that has no significance to them at all. All right. Um, I'm gonna go with the Patriots. Once again, the Patriots are a good team in the regular season. I just don't trust them in the playoffs. But I am gonna go with the Patriots, and plus I need the Chargers to lose for the Ravens to continue to get up the mountain here. Sorry, didn't mean to be biased, but the Patriots are the better team. But it would be interesting to see the Chargers. I think this is going to be a close game because the Chargers are riding some big time momentum off of last. Might even miss this game, but I think the Patriots are going to win. But I'm going to put them on upset alert. There we go. There we go. I might as well just come out and say it. I've been trying to say it for a second here. I just might as well just say it. Patriots on upset alert, but the Patriots. I'm picking the Patriots, but they are on the UA. I don't know, whatever. Next we got the Air. I almost said the Arizona Falcons. Um, okay. The Atlanta Falcons going into Green Bay, into Lambeau Field to go up against the Packers. This is a Monday night game I'm not excited for. I'm not really excited for this because I don't think it's gonna be that good. I don't like the Falcons at home. I mean, on the road. Excuse me. I like the Falcons on the road. I don't, and they're going in Lambeau too. Oh, they're not playing in a dome. Oh no, they're in trouble. I'm gonna go with the Packers here. Um, for some reason, I got this urge, and I don't hate the Falcons. I just don't really like the Falcons. Um, I got this urge to put the Packers on hearing about them, about relax urge. So I'm gonna use this urge, and I am going to put. You know what? Forget it. I am gonna switch my pick, and I'm going with the Falcons. There we go. Falcons win this game. They're fighting for their lives in that division. Falcons win, baby. What do you think?
No,
Do you agree?
the
Do you
Arizona
agree?
Falcons. The, the Arizona Falcons are not going to win. It's not even going to be a good game. It's going to be like 67-0 Packers.
They are not the Raiders.
Yeah, they're worse.
From what I heard, you are what your record says you are. So the Raiders, from what I see, are 1-11. Um, and the Falcons are 5-7. So they're at least 4 games better than the Raiders, at least.
No, they're not. It's
All
a
right, so I
fluke.
think that was the Monday night. That's the Monday night game. So that's it. But I do want you guys to know how tight these divisions are because I did do a divisions pick on my channel as well. Way earlier. Before it was before week 1. I think it might have been the day before week 1. So I want you guys to know how close the divisions are. At least the top 2 to 3 teams. On the AFC East, you got the Patriots at 9-3, the Dolphins at 7-5, and the Bills at 7-5. I picked the Dolphins to win this division. I wish they weren't playing the Ravens this week because I still want them to win the division. Maybe the Patriots lose and the Dolphins lose and the Bills lose. That would be great. The AFC North, you got the Bengals at 8-3-1, the Ravens at 7-5, the Steelers at 7-5, and the Browns at 7-5. It's really close, and that tie is going to come into play, especially if the Bengals lose 2 more games, and the rest of the division the rest of the division wins out, because that tie is going to leave them at 6, not 6. What am I thinking? 9. I think it's 9-5-1. So that not win or not loss would bump them down too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that tie plays out. It's going to play out a lot better in the AFC North than it will in the NFC South. Next, we got the AFC South. We got the I'm just going to go to the first 2 teams here because the last 2 teams are not really as close as the first 2 teams. So you got the Colts at 8-4 and the Texans at 6-6. So that will be interesting. It's interesting because I thought that the Colts are going to run away with it, and they may here at the end. They may run away with it. I'm just saying, like, right now, it's just crazy that it's that close. You wouldn't think it would be that close this late in the season. Next, we got the AFC West, which is also really close. We got the 9-3 Denver Broncos, the 8-4 San Diego Chargers, and the 7-5 Kansas City Chiefs. So they're all about a game away from each other, a game away from the next place up, except for the Broncos because obviously they're in first place. Then if you go to the NFC, you got the NFC East. You got the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-3, and you got the Cowboys at 9-4. That's a really close top 2, and I think that's how we all expected it to play out a little bit. Is those that division being pretty tight, especially with the top 2 teams. You got the NFC North. You got the Green Bay Packers at 9-3, and you got the Detroit Lions at 8-4. So that's still close too. You never know with the Packers. They look really good, but that doesn't mean that something won't happen to where they lose 1 or 2 games here late, and the Lions take over that division. You never know. And then next we got the NFC South. I think I'm gonna go through all of these teams because it's really close throughout, but none of them have winning records either. So it's kind of funny. So you got the Atlanta Falcons at 5-7. You got the New Orleans Saints at 5-7, and the Atlanta Falcons, by the way, are above the New Orleans Saints because they won that first game in Week 1. And then you got the Carolina Panthers at 3-8-1. Once again, that tie actually could come into play if something was to happen. I didn't think the Panthers were that close to them, but they actually are. And then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 2-10. And they still have a chance if you look at that. They're only 3 games away from the Atlanta Falcons. So that's just crazy to me. Let's just say the Falcons lose all 3 of their last 3 games, and then so do the Saints, and then the Panthers lose, 2 of their last 3 games. I mean, they need a lot of help, but it could happen, and that would be crazy. Imagine a team that played that bad making the playoffs. That would be crazy. Kind of like that 6-10 team that made it a couple years ago. So, and then lastly, we got the NFC West. This one's also closer than it may look. We got the Arizona Cardinals at 9-3, the Seattle Seahawks at 8-4, and the San Francisco 49ers at 7-5. What's interesting is the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl last year. their divisions are all like 3, 4, and 5 losses. I thought that was kind of cool. Do you have anything about the divisions to say about the divisions in particular, or any one, or all of them in overall, or all of them? Anything in particular you want to say?
Colts are gonna run away with it, and they're gonna go through the playoffs, and they are going to be the Super Bowl champions.
Do you have a helium tank in your in whatever room you're in? Because
Yeah.
I think it's broken, because it's like every time you talk, like your head gets a little bigger. I don't know. I think you may want to check that. I don't want you to injure yourself or anything. We gotta
No, I'm good.
we gotta make it through the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast thing. So, all right. So, Colts win the Super Bowl is Casey's prediction.
Yeah.
In this fourth quarter of the season. So,
Yeah.
leave your Super Bowl prediction in the fourth quarter of the season. It's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. But there are the picks. I know the panel was a little bit shorter this time, a little bit smaller, I guess. Not shorter.
Is that a short joke?
Small. What?
Is that a short joke? Just because I'm
Yes.
short, you gotta make jokes?
Yes. You know, the panel's a little bit smaller today, but I'm gonna try my best to get their picks and put them in the description, so at least you guys know who they thought may win, if I can, if I can do it before tomorrow. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at beastmode123100. Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast is up on the channel. There's a big playlist of videos you can go watch if you'd like to. We have Ring of Honor All-Star Extravaganza up now. I'm trying to get the Champions versus All-Stars, but just struggling. I'm just struggling. I might have to opt out. I'm just struggling. I'm trying, but I can't do it. Hopefully, Final Battle tomorrow. That would be great. Hopefully. I'm hoping for that. And there we go. That's about all I got. Obviously, the videos we do all the time. TLC's coming up, so that's cool. So, what do you think? What are your last minute remarks / shout out / whatever you want to say / everything? Wouldn't this be the worst time for him to lag out? Right at the end? I guess it kind of be the best time. Yeah, he did lag out. Okay, so he got disconnected. And that's okay. He'll be back, and I'll let him, you know, shout himself out or whatever he wants to shout out. Welcome back.
I froze. I froze
glad you
right
could
after
join
you
us.
asked.
Glad you could join us again. So,
Uh,
anything you like to say?
Just that, it's less than 2 hours to my birthday, so if anyone still wants to send me gifts, send me a happy birthday tweet. Tell me how amazing I am and how you come to see our shows just to see me. Sorry, big head again. No, follow me on Twitter. It's down there. If you have any suggestions for videos, like we always say, feel free to comment, send us tweets, send us questions, questions, comments, concerns, anything. We need attention. That's really what this boils down to. We need attention. But that's it.
All right. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see you guys again. If you're into the wrestling thing. If you're not, feel free to try it out, and maybe you'll be into the wrestling thing. I don't know. You don't know until you try it. So there you go. I feel like I'm like Italian using my hands like that. That was weird. Anyway.
If you like men in skimpy tights, then you'll love it.
Indeed.
Just...
And women like Sasha Banks. Oh, sorry. Anyway, if you're still here, if you wanna subscribe, feel free. The channel is DJ Beal. That's why I have my name here, so you can just go ahead and search it up if you want to, or Beast Mode 13100. You can find it that way too. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. Share the video however you feel like you'd want to share the video. Um, I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Love you guys. Love you guys. Peace.